So Melissa, I want to get you to answer some questions to inform our audience about bonus depreciation. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of late 2017 gave us bonus depreciation at 100%. So tell us where we are, Melissa, for 2019.
For 2019, a taxpayer can deduct up to 100% of qualifying purchases.
Okay, for how long is the 100% bonus depreciation in effect, and what is scheduled to happen when the 100% no longer exists?
Taxpayers actually have until 12/31/2022 to claim 100% bonus depreciation. For each year after that, there's a phase down of 20% per year until it is completely eliminated in 12/31/2026.
Is it possible that changes could be made to this schedule?
Of course, anything is possible. It would take a change in the current tax law, though, for that to happen.
What property purchases qualify for bonus depreciation, and what is new about qualification?
Depreciable business assets with a cost recovery of 20 years or less qualify for bonus depreciation. Not only did the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act increase bonus depreciation deduction from 50% to 100%, they actually expanded the qualifying property definition to include used property. Prior to that, you could only take the deduction on new property. So this has greatly expanded the definition and the availability of the deduction to taxpayers. Another thing to note is vehicles would also qualify, but vehicles that are subject to the auto luxury limits, those may not get the full benefit of the 100%, but eventually will be depreciated over the course of their period under the auto luxury limit rules.
What are some purchases that would qualify, but specific rules disqualify them?
Some purchases that would qualify, if you're purchasing equipment, let's say from a related party purchases don't qualify for bonus depreciation. Also, if you previously owned the property, you can't take bonus depreciation on previously owned property. And any asset that you receive from a gift or inheritance, bonus depreciation isn't available. And then just another note, because we do see this in practice, foreign assets that are used predominantly outside of the U.S. do not qualify for bonus depreciation.
For property acquired late in the year, what do businesses need to know about what's required to qualify them for bonus depreciation?
Whether or not an asset is acquired late in the year really doesn't matter. It matters when you place that asset in service. If you have that asset ready and available to use and place it in service in your trade or business, you would be able to claim that depreciation on that, even if you bought it on 12/31.
What if property that otherwise would qualify but hasn't been paid for? How does bonus depreciation work in that case?
Asset acquisitions financed by a loan or a vendor payable would be qualified for bonus depreciation as soon as the title transfers to the buyer and the property is placed in service by the buyer of that asset. And that's the same for a cash basis or accrual basis taxpayer.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act eliminated like-kind exchange treatment, so-called 1031 exchanges, for non-real estate assets. What are the implications of that in relation to bonus depreciation?
Like-kind exchanges allowed the taxpayer to defer any gain on an asset that was traded in, and now that that's eliminated, a taxpayer may have a gain to recognize due to having to recognize the fair market value of that equipment that was traded in. But on the flip side, the acquisition cost of the property is going to include not only your cash that you pay, but also the trade-in value that you're recognizing in income. And if you can take bonus depreciation on the asset you're acquiring, you'd be able to completely eliminate that gain via bonus depreciation by deducting that new asset that you just acquired.
What about property constructed by or for the taxpayer? How is bonus depreciation handled in those situations?
Really comes down to the same thing that we've discussed, is the place in service. When is it available and ready to be used and placed in service in the business? That's when you can claim bonus depreciation.
And what is Kentucky's treatment of bonus depreciation?
Unfortunately, Kentucky has decoupled from bonus depreciation, so you can't claim bonus for Kentucky. You would just depreciate any assets for Kentucky purposes over the maker's cost recovery system.